You watched this
Anyway,
today.
I did watch it this morning
This
because I'm
morning.
working from home,
Yes.
but I'm also trying to work what my contract hours are going to be once the semester starts for us,
Yeah.
which is 12 to 6, but I'm bad at that. So I've been working 9 to 5, which is
Oh,
probably why I accomplished so much on Monday.
yes, dang.
And I'm just very efficient when I work from home and no phones are ringing and it's
Yeah.
quiet, sans
Yes.
2 cats.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
That's cool.
yeah. Anyway,
Anyway.
hello and welcome to our podcast. Let me use the right mouse.
Ooh,
Uh,
how
because
many
I have two
mouses?
I have two mice on my computer right now
Oh, cool.
because I have a work laptop now, so I've been working on that and I plug it into my monitor here so I can have dual screens and live in luxury.
Yeah.
But I have my laptop mouse here, so I've been reaching for that instead of my computer mouse. Silly me.
It's okay.
Welcome to Real Horror Show, a horror movie review podcast where we review horror movies from Netflix, Hulu, Shudder, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sam Odie.
And I'm your co-host, Stormy Skies.
Welcome to our podcast. Today we will be reviewing Late Night with the Devil, a 2023 supernatural horror film written, directed, and edited by Colin and Cameron Cairnes. It stars David
Dastmalchian.
Dastmalchian,
Dastmalchian. Very
Laura
Armenian.
Gordon, Ian Bliss, Faisal Bazi, Ingrid Torelli, Rise Autori, and Georgina Haig, and Josh Koang Tart. Incorporating elements of found footage and documentary filmmaking, the film follows the events of a late night talk show episode aired on the night of Halloween 1977, during which the host attempts to boost ratings by inviting an allegedly possessed girl onto the show. And this is how we like to break it down. We start with characters and acting, then move on to story and writing, and finish things up with production notes. And then we like to discuss the real horrors this movie addresses. Sometimes they're serious, and sometimes we like to have a bit of goofy fun. That being said, we are a horror movie podcast, so here is a general trigger warning. We talk about death, blood, guts, and other unsavory topics that might not be suitable for everyone, although we try to do so sensitively. Listeners' discretion is advised. Movies are then rated on a scale of what the fuck did I just watch, which means there's no redeeming qualities to be found. Meh, it's okay. And yeah, that fucked me up, which is what all horror should strive to be. So let's get started.
Yes, do let's.
So this movie was super hyped last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Last year, right?
Yeah, last year. It's 2024 now, which is wild. Yeah.
It is, because we've been meaning to talk about this movie forever, but we were doing a Saw retrospective, which, by the way,
yes,
all the Saw movies are now available for streaming on, I think, Hulu. So,
well, that's just perfect.
I know. After
what am I supposed
we
to do with
rented
that?
them,
Yeah, right. I had to watch my old Blu-ray.
Yeah, 1 through 7 are available.
Yep. Oh.
Not Jigsaw and not Book of Saw, not Saw 10. However, Book of Saw and
Spiral,
Jigsaw should probably still be on Prime, I would imagine.
Spiral was, I think I watched that on, was it Prime? It's either Prime or Hulu.
I think it was on Prime.
It was on something, yeah.
It was we had to rent a lot of them because they went off streaming right when we started the retrospective.
Dude, yeah. Well, luckily I have the Blu-rays, but yeah, we did.
Well, I had to rent them.
Well, you should get the Blu-rays, but you shouldn't, because there's going to be more anyway.
Exactly.
So what will you do?
I was about to say, I'm not going to get the Blu-rays until they're done making them, because
that's where I'm at too. I'm like,
because theoretically they should be putting out like a really special 20-year anniversary box set for the franchise. However, from what I gauged from the Saw subreddit, they're not.
No.
It was kind of underwhelming, and also kind of stupid because Saw 11's coming out, so your box set is going to be incomplete regardless.
Yeah, I think they did have some type of like a box set because 10 had come out and it was kind of cool, Maybe it was like a steel book or something. But then like,
Ooh,
yeah, 11 was announced. So I was like, well, I'm not going to do that and then buy
yeah.
11 like separately.
Because then
Like
you
that would be
won't have the
stupid.
steel box for 11.
Right.
And no
So
Saw movie is going to get a steel box on its own.
no fucking way. So we're going to have to just wait however many years until it's all out of their system forever.
Yep.
Shit. I don't know when that's going to be.
So instead
But
of reviewing the hip relevant horror movies, which we're
mhm.
going to start catching up on now,
Yes.
and that includes Maxine when it's not
Oh
available
yeah,
for $20.
Maxine. Oh God, I know, right? It really, like, yeah, like 15. I'm like, no thanks.
My max
Sorry.
is like probably 6 to
Yeah, I
rent.
was gonna say like 4.99,
Yeah.
5-ish, that's like
Yeah.
max
Yeah.
though. Like two
And that's for
dollars is
renting.
good.
Like, I'm
Yes,
not going to buy a
renting.
digital release
No, I'm gonna
because,
watch it. It's just gonna be streaming. Why would I
yeah.
just want to have like that's stupid. I'll
Yeah.
just have a
And
physical copy if I want to buy it.
here's the bullshit about buying a digital release that's been coming out in the recent years is they can just delete what you've purchased if they no longer like have the rights to stream that. A lot of people who've bought
Shit.
movies on their from the PlayStation store have found that their movies have been removed because PlayStation no longer or Sony no longer has the rights to them or whatever.
Whoa.
So physical media supremacy
Yeah.
always.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's Sony gonna do? Are they gonna fucking come into my apartment and take my DVD back? I
You're
don't
right.
think so.
Exactly. No.
And apparently Sony's going to discontinue making Blu-rays, which is really
What?
dumb. Yeah, there's a lot of bullshittery going around, and it comes down to they don't want you to own things. But that's
What
not what
about
we're
my,
talking
yeah,
about
what about my
today.
collection?
Exactly.
Ugh,
What about my collections?
speaking of
Yeah.
collections, is there even a collection in this movie? I don't think so.
No.
No.
I mean, the collection of colorful guests on
Yeah,
the late night
yes.
show.
That is excellent. Yes.
There we go.
Yes. Perfect.
So yeah, this movie was very hyped for a long time, and this is a production note, but I want to address it before we get into it because
Okay.
this was a bit of a controversy
Controversy.
or
Really?
controversy, if you will.
Hmm. Do
So
tell.
AI was used to create some of the elements of the backdrops as well as the transition slides when they transition into their commercial breaks.
Oh.
So because of that, many were boycotting the theatrical release of this film,
Hmm.
which, I mean, the movie had been paid for at that point. I know because there were 9 fucking production companies
Damn.
at the top of this movie.
Wow.
2 minutes of those damn production company like slides at the front of the movie. Anyway, so while I don't know if I would have gone so far as to boycott an original indie horror movie, I don't think it should be considered okay to just cut out artists entirely and use AI to create art for your movie. Because I know I follow so many like talented retro artists who
Hmm.
specialize in like that vintage 70s illustration vibe.
Yeah.
So it's really gross that
Yeah.
they used AI in that way. And
Yeah.
I'm relatively anti AI because I see it while it could be used as a valuable tool to help artists save time
Hmm.
on menial, laborious tasks. Like a
Yeah.
very good use of it I saw recently was with the release of Mad Max Furiosa.
Yeah.
They used AI to help merge Anya Taylor-Joy's face with the little girl that played Furiosa in flashbacks. And
Oh.
something like that would take animators hundreds of hours, but they were able to use AI to cut that labor in half. And I think that's a very valid use of the tool because you're still using the animators to oversee it.
Right.
But
Exactly.
this use is directly cutting out an artist who could get paid for this.
Yeah.
Um, so I just think we should acknowledge that before we start our review, because that
Hmm.
was kind of not a cool thing for them to do. And they did it like 2 years. This movie was like 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
So before like the whole generative AI really like
Yeah,
hit the mainstream, but
right.
still kind of shitty. And
Yeah.
it would probably cost like $100 to commission these backdrops and slides from an artist on Etsy. So come on,
I
guys.
know, yeah. That's so awkward to just use like just AI for those.
Or should
Gosh.
like pay them 100, but with the like guarantee that they get some more if the movie's a hit, because this movie
Yeah.
was a pretty big hit.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think it came to my local Regal, which is probably why I inadvertently boycotted it. It was definitely at the Roanoke Regal,
Oh,
but I'm not
cool.
going to drive 45 minutes unless it's a very, especially when I know the movie's going to be on streaming in like a few weeks after its theatrical run.
Right. Unless it's like a special treat.
Yes. Um, so anyway, now that that's out of the way, um, Jack is our main character. He's the host of a late night TV show, and you like this guy. You like his actor.
I love this guy.
What else has he been in?
Literally, I've only seen him in like one other thing. He was in um like I think it was Batman Begins or or
Oh,
Batman the Dark Knight.
uh-huh.
And he had like a tiny role as like an insane person in an insane asylum.
Ooh.
And I was like, ooh, that guy's cool. And then like I feel like I've seen him in a couple other things. Like I haven't like looked out for his stuff, but then I saw that he was starring and I'm like, oh shit, that's that guy. Look at him being like a star.
He
But
was
he's
also apparently in Oppenheimer.
I have not seen Oppenheimer. Yeah, The
He,
Dark Knight. Yeah.
Dark Knight, The Boogeyman, which I did see. I don't know who he was though.
I didn't see The Boogeyman. Any good?
It was fine. It was
Okay.
it was it was fine. I forget that I see it. It
Fine.
had Natalie, young Natalie from Yellow Jackets in it.
Oh, the girl from oh young Natalie. I hadn't seen Yellow Jackets yet, dang it.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
that's like a show that I keep forgetting that I need to watch because I'll sit down and be like, oh, I want to watch a show. Like, what should I like start? And I like forget it completely exists. So
Oh, I mean it is on Showtime, so that's fair.
oh, for real?
Yeah.
Shit. I can't like stream anywhere else, bro.
I mean, you can get the free trial of Showtime on
Oh,
Amazon Prime.
oh God.
That's how
Very
I watched it
confusing.
originally.
Yeah, it looks like
But you're a slow watcher.
it says Hulu premium subscription. I don't have that. I don't have
That
Amazon premium
means that
subscription.
means if you add on Showtime.
Wait, I might have Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah, it might be. It is on Paramount
It
Plus too.
is. I'll have to like I
Excellent.
swear to God I have that. I swear to fucking God, I'm pretty sure I do. Okay. Okay. Anyway,
Anyway, I thought he
David,
was,
yes. Jack.
yeah, Jack. I thought he was likable enough. However, um, I don't know if this was intentional on the actor or intentional on the writers, and if
Yeah.
not, I might just be insulting David right now.
Yeah.
Um, I liked him a lot, but he wasn't like a super charismatic TV host,
Dude, I
which
noticed that too.
which makes sense why his ratings never exceed Johnny Carson, because if you're like into the history of television and media like I dabble in, Johnny Carson was very charismatic. He's set the blueprint for late night talk show hosts.
Yeah. So like maybe it was on purpose.
Yeah.
Because like after I watched it and it was over and I was like, you know what? Like I'm really glad that like this dude was in it, but I was like, he really like didn't like go go hard. You know
Yeah,
what I
he
mean?
he didn't wow me as a
I
talk show host.
know. But then I was thinking more and I was like, is it because he was like trying to like be chill because he was on air? Like I have no idea. I don't know. It was either
Yeah.
like because he didn't do well acting, that was an acting choice, or it
Hmm.
was something else. So who can
Yeah.
say? I don't know. But
And
yes, I did notice that too. Yeah.
his character is supposed to be like depressed because his wife just died of cancer.
Yeah.
Mysteriously, she had pretty aggressive lung cancer as a woman who never smoked.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little bit of a mystery surrounding that, but not
Right.
so much a mystery. It's touched upon throughout the course of the movie, but
Yes.
um
But we
it's
find out
not,
why, yeah,
yeah.
later.
Um
It's not like the
Then,
forefront.
yeah,
The show is the forefront.
correct. And then we have the possessed little girl, Lily.
Mhm.
I thought she was a bad actress at first, but then I pretty quickly caught on, oh, she's
Uh-huh.
clearly just possessed by the demon throughout
Right.
the whole thing. And the
Yeah.
demon is, trying to act normal.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that was interesting.
That's how I'm justifying her acting choice.
Me too. I think that that is because she's like trying to, yeah, keep a lid on it, but
Yeah.
she, yeah, has like maybe multiple demons in her inside of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she just is the demon.
Yes, perhaps.
And then Haig, the magician, he was probably my
Mhm.
favorite character in this movie. He was very douchey.
You
However,
mean Carmichael?
Carmichael, I think I heard his last name, and that's what I put in my notes.
His name is Ian Bliss.
Ian Bliss.
Yes.
All right. I like the magician. He's a douchebag, but he was probably my
Yes.
favorite character. He was also very rational the entire time.
Yeah, because he was like famous for being a skeptic, but also a magician and like a hypnotized guy.
Yeah, he is the Penn Jillette of this movie,
Ooh, yes.
of Penn and Teller fame.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. Sorry,
I
I
don't know
didn't
too
mean to.
much about that. I don't know too much.
Oh yeah, they Penn and
Hmm.
Teller used to have a very popular TV show in the
Oh,
late 90s, early 2000s called Bullshit, where they just
oh,
debunk a bunch of things.
oh, interesting. That's
And
cool.
a big part of Penn Jillette's shtick is he's a magician, but
Hmm.
he's going to tell you how the trick is done.
Oh, yes.
There's no like secrets to be had.
Uh-huh.
It's not real magic because there is no such thing as real magic.
Right. It's just the trick of the illusion.
Yes, yes.
A
Trick of the trade.
trick of the tree, yes.
And I think those are our big characters. There is Lily's psychologist, Dr. Julia,
Yeah.
but she's fine. She's there. She's boning Jack, or Jack is boning her to get what he wants, which is higher ratings, and he's not afraid to exploit everyone around him to get there.
And that's
And
so
we
funny that he does that because he seems like such a chill guy.
yeah. And we're shown that very early on
Yeah,
in this. They set it up like a documentary.
they did. It was
And
cool.
yeah, and I really like that element, but I feel like it was lost at the end there.
Hmm.
And we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yes. Yes.
But I like that setup because they brought up his wife having aggressive cancer, and she made a rare appearance on the show when she was very close to death, and it was a rating stunt. But it still didn't get him above Carson. And then she allegedly died 2 weeks later.
Yes. Sorry, Luke came in. Distracted.
That's fine.
But yes, yeah, she died like, yeah. And so that was literally, yeah, to like see if the ratings would like happen,
Yeah.
but it didn't still.
Yeah.
So was she in on it or like what? I don't know.
We don't know. Let's go ahead and get into story. It is late, so I'm sorry if we're both low
No, that's
energy.
okay.
It's 9:08 and we're
Yes,
elderly. So
we are. Yes, it's bedtime for
um
us. So yeah, go
yeah.
ahead for the
As
story.
we touched on, this is set up as a documentary investigation of an unexplained event that occurred on the night of Halloween during a filming of Night Owls with Jack Delroy, which
Mhm.
is a on-air competitor with The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, and Jack Delroy wants to beat Johnny Carson. He wants to be more famous than Johnny Carson.
Yes.
We also know that he is married to a woman named Madeline who died of cancer shortly before this taping happened.
Yes. Yes.
Jack Delroy visits a golf club called The Grove, which is
Mm,
a men's only club
the
that
secret
we don't.
society.
It is a secret society we don't know a whole lot of. We get sprinklings of hints throughout.
Yeah.
Um, but to get the ratings he wants to do an occult themed episode for Halloween, which includes a psychic, Cousteau, a skeptic, Carmichael Haig, parapsychologist, June, not Judy, June, and June's subject, which is 13-year-old Lily Diabo, who is
Diablo, of course, like Diablo.
So maybe she was just the demon the whole time.
Maybe.
Because her mom wasn't anywhere around. It was just the doctor. So
Yeah.
would you let your 13-year-old child go to a film set without you? No, I
Dude,
wouldn't.
no,
Of course.
everybody was dead but her, so that we could say anything.
Oh yeah, so that's very convenient for a devil, you know.
Yes.
Sorry, my Midwest came out for a second.
The devil.
You know. And she is allegedly possessed by a demonic spirit.
Allegedly, yes, I love that.
So
Carmichael's pissed and he's like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which I think is a rational perspective to have on this.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so the show starts with the psychic Cousteau trying to connect with really any spirit, or prove he can connect with any spirit, but he immediately fucks up with his first guess. He was like, your wife, she's here with us, isn't she? I'm hearing a spirit. And the guy's like, no, she left, she cheated on me.
Oh yeah, it was almost like a bit.
Yeah. And then he starts connecting with someone named Minnie, and Jack is like, oh shit, that was my nickname for Madeline. And then Cousteau, after they bring out Carmichael, Cousteau becomes violently ill and he starts projecting black liquid all over the room, much like
black puke.
Much like any other
demonic demon. Possession. Yeah, any other demon would do that.
I will say this is a production note, but the CGI on the puke was not the best. But I mean, I think they saved most of their budget for the ending.
Oh yeah.
Which is fine. It was a good ending.
Yeah, it was.
So Carmichael does his bits, and then finally the star of the hour, they bring out Lily, the sole survivor of a mass suicide by a satanic church and its leader,
Mr. Diablo.
Diabo, that worship Abraxas. Jack convinces her to conjure the demon inside of her, who Lily calls Mr. Wriggles. June does not like this. She thinks it's a terrible idea. However, reading this Wikipedia summary, Lily absolutely is just a demon herself.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe even if she's not, it's definitely like a she was conceived to house the devil or whatever.
Right. Yes. She's just a vessel.
Because she was also just super eager to summon Mr. Wriggles. It's not like something she was like, oh no, I can't do that. She was like, oh, come on, Dr. June, it'll be fun.
Right, yes. But Dr. June's like, no, it'll become out of control and I won't be able to get you back.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Which is exactly what happens. Lily becomes possessed during The Conjuring. She levitates her chair. The demon notes having previously met Jack under the tall trees, revealing that Jack and June are romantically involved in suggesting that Jack wanted his wife out of the way.
Oh shit.
Lily, after that, Lily's possession is over, and June is like, I'm so sorry I put you through that.
She's like, it's cool, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good because I'm actually just Mr. Wriggles. There is no Lily. Carmichael, the skeptic, challenges June by taking Jack's sidekick Gus to with hypnotism to
this is cool,
to prove that, to show how what they all witnessed together actually happened. And it was all just like psycho babble. And so he hypnotized Gus to see worms pouring out of him.
Yeah.
And everybody sees this, but Um,
But Lily.
it was all just a mass hallucination.
Yes.
And the production team is like, no way, and they rewind the footage, and it was just a mass hallucination. There were no worms coming out of his body.
Yeah, it was fucking wild.
However, but this doesn't explain what happened during Mr. Wriggle's conjuring, because when they play back that footage, it still happens exactly how they all saw it. So Carmichael, when they play it like frame by frame, because Jack sees something, and it's a very over the top version of Madeline's ghost just standing behind him. How did anyone miss that? I don't know.
I,
Um,
yeah, just the blink of an eye.
yeah. And then when that happens, Carmichael's like, "Ah, you're orchestrating this shit." Then Lily becomes possessed again. Her head splits open,
Shit.
um, begins to glow like lava. She brutally kills Gus by
Yeah.
snapping his neck. She kills
Yeah.
June by taking her anti-possession necklace and slitting her throat with it. Really
Yeah.
cool.
It
And then
was.
Carmichael, she just melts
Yeah. She
in broad
does.
daylight.
Rest in peace, Carmichael. But
And then
Dave or Jack gets away.
Jack supposedly gets away, but he's
Mhm.
actually transported to a nightmarish version of the show. He relives moments of the show's past before it's revealed that he indeed did have a connection to the demon possessing Lily. He encountered it during the ceremony at the Grove, where he made a pact with the devil by sacrificing
Mhm.
the soul of his wife in
Damn.
exchange for fame and TV success of Night Owls. Thus,
Wild.
he was indirectly responsible for Madeline's cancer. Madeline's ghost begs Jack to put her out of her misery as the cancer is causing pain, using the ritual
Nice.
dagger from Lily's former satanic cult. He then stabs her to death, and the scene suddenly shifts to a now empty studio. A horrified Jack realizes he has stabbed Lily live on TV. He stands over the body of dead guests as the police sirens approach in the distance.
And they're all dead. And that's why it was so wild.
Yeah.
And they were correct. He is the most famous in late night talk show because he's infamous.
Yeah.
He. Be
So did that
careful what you wish
ending imply that Jack killed them all?
for.
Or
I do not know.
I'll have to rewatch that
Perhaps you know
part.
what? I don't know because in what we saw in the scene before, excuse me, Lily killed everybody and then
That's
Jack
true, because we
killed
are
Lily.
we are watching the footage that this
Yeah.
documentary team found,
Right, right.
which is why the ending kind of doesn't work for me, because a lot of when we see the nightmarish version of the show, we as the audience wouldn't be seeing that, as the footage has been presented to us at the beginning of this movie.
Mhm.
Because that was all in Jack's head. That was all a flashback that was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Exactly.
So,
Yes, exactly.
that didn't really work for me story-wise. Um,
Yeah.
there were some twists and turns that made things a bit unsettling. Like, we find out that Christo
Oh, yeah.
really died on the way
Yeah.
to the hospital because he couldn't stop throwing up, so he was dead, and Jack had lied about that to
Yeah.
Carmichael.
Right, yes.
Um, we never we don't get a lot of answers as to what this cult is and who Lily is.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, but that's basically everything because
Yeah.
it's just the behind the scenes footage. That's
Yeah.
basically it.
It's just the found footage as it's
Yeah.
presented to us.
I guess it is found
And
footage. Yeah.
this is technically found footage.
Footage, yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
You thought found footage was over? Think again.
I thought it was over. I thought.
Now, I do
um,
think this is a very unique premise for a horror
yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
and I like this direction with found footage,
Yeah.
because I'm very into lost media. I think lost media is a really cool thing that happens in like the pre-archival world, and
Yeah.
even during the archival world, there's incident things that have happened on live TV that were filmed and we do know are in archives somewhere that are inaccessible, like Christine Chobach, who killed herself live on air.
Oh shit.
That footage is somewhere. It's locked in a safe somewhere. We know it's locked in a safe somewhere,
Hmm.
but it's never going to see the light of day.
Right. Yes.
So I do think it's a really cool direction to go with a horror movie. And I thought they
Yeah.
really captured not just like the aesthetics of the 70s really well,
Hmm.
but just the vibe of those 70s horror movies really well.
Oh yeah, they for sure did.
Because I meant to watch this last night, but instead I got distracted by what was playing live on the Shutter stream,
Oh yeah. What was it?
because it was Death Game, which Eli Roth remade into Knock Knock starring Keanu Reeves.
Oh, okay.
So it was a 1977 sexploitation movie
Hmm.
um about two girls who trick a man into having an orgy with him, and then they won't leave
Mm.
his house and they tie
Mm-hmm.
him up, and yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
That one. Um and like
Shit.
some 70s horror movies are very simple and to the point, but then you
Hmm.
have a lot that are very zany and off the wall. And I think this captured the spirit of the zany and off the wall nature of some 70s paranormal horror movies
Right.
very well.
Definitely.
Um that being said,
Mhm.
I think this movie was a little overhyped.
Yeah, I think so too, actually.
But I'm also just not super into demon possession in the first place. But I do think it was a little overhyped. I was expecting, I don't know, just more, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there wasn't enough demon possession really, you
Yeah,
know?
like I wanted more of the demon possession, and we got a
Yeah.
lot of strange things happening, like Christo vomiting all over the place. We can attribute that to Lily probably,
Yeah.
but we only had the one conjuring.
Yeah.
And then we had the really cool hypno moment with
Yeah.
Gus where he's ripping open his stomach and the worms are falling out. I thought that was
Yeah.
a really great practical effect and
Practical.
very
Yeah.
classic 70s horror.
That looked really good as practical. I was like, dang, look at that. Because
It looked
I
so
was,
real.
it did because I was like, oh shit, this is gross. And then I was like, oh my God, practical effects are happening. And I haven't seen them in like a long time, I'm like, wee.
Yeah. And then
So,
that happens, and immediately afterwards shit hits the fan with Lily's possession. Her head splits open. Everyone's dying, and then we have this break in the action where we get a flashback to how this all came to be, and that Jack did make a deal with the devil, and
yeah.
it killed the momentum for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was just overhyped. I wanted more of the demon possession. I wanted more of Lily.
Yeah.
I think a lot of time was
Wasted in the
wasted.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, wasted in the beginning.
Agreed. And how long was this movie anyway? It was only
Probably.
1.5 hours. They could have went longer,
Yeah, this is one of those
Like,
instances where an extra
yeah.
like 15 to
Yeah.
25 minutes would have enhanced this movie,
Yeah.
because I don't know. It really is just like we didn't get enough time with Lily, and then we could have built to the reveal a little better, where he
Yeah.
did make the deal with the devil, because that all felt very rushed for some reason, and we had the time. Maybe they didn't have the money, but we did have the time to
Yes.
maybe just flesh out his connection with the devil a bit more to make it clearer.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, those are my big complaints about the story.
Yeah. I think I totally agree with that because I feel like I was like watching it at certain points and I was like, oh, it's like kind of like dragging.
Yeah.
a little bit. Like it felt longer than it actually was, honestly. I'm surprised it was only an hour or 90 minutes only.
Yeah. And maybe we're crazy. Maybe we're wrong. This sits at a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I know Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregate score, but still that's higher than I was expecting actually. So maybe
Yeah,
we're idiots.
not bad. Well, you know what? The audience rating on like Google or whatever is 3.9 out of 5. So that's not too terrible.
I think that's more fair. Let's see what
Yeah.
the audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes is 81, which
Okay.
I think is more fair because the performances were pretty good. The practical effects were really good. The CGI was but the practical effects that really felt like they came from a 70s horror movie, those were fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
but the story was a little weak. It dragged and then it didn't the ending wasn't satisfying and the demon possession overall wasn't very satisfying.
Oh yeah, I agree. The end, like the very, very end was crazy because I wasn't expecting like the head split fire
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. All of
But
that
you're
was really cool.
yeah, but the demon possession was like very like it was just basic
Yeah.
and everything that the demon said just like didn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like because we didn't get answers to that. So you're right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And maybe because we did have some behind the scenes footage, not just the archival footage from the recording itself. There was backstage footage they
Yeah.
used. And I think for me, that's where a lot of it was dragging is they didn't use those moments to the best of their ability
Right.
in fleshing out the
I
story.
agree. I agree.
I mean, I think the most we got with Jack maybe having some sketchiness is when he was talking to June privately. And that's where I
Mhm.
figured out, oh, they've been fucking.
Oh, you
Um,
could just tell. Yeah.
um, but yeah, just there's a little to be desired with the story, and
Yeah.
scare wise,
Yeah.
there's a little to be desired. I
Yeah.
loved the worm scene. I think if we had more of
That was my
that,
favorite.
I'd
Yeah.
be more hyped.
It wasn't
And the
even
head
the
split.
possession. Yeah, the head split was cool. The worms were better, but that wasn't even the
Yeah.
possession, dude.
Yeah, that was all in our
It's all in our
head.
head. And I was like, ooh, hypnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So what do we
But
got?
Stephen King liked it. He was provided
Mm.
with an advanced screener and
Oh,
said, "It's absolutely brilliant. I couldn't take my eyes off it. Your results
wow.
may vary, as they say, but I urge you to watch it when you can."
Like, you know what? I feel like if you like were alive during the 70s and maybe you grew up during that era, it holds like a different weight.
Mm-hmm.
But like for us, all we know is like, oh, they're movies that are from the 70s. So maybe it is that good at replicating that era when it like on the TV show or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like it's not a bad movie. I think it was cool and it was good, but you're right. I felt like there could have been a lot more that happened.
Yeah. I think I probably would have liked it more if it wasn't so hyped by our
Hmm.
community.
Yeah, I guess
Failed failed by our community.
damn. And like it's called Late Night with the Devil. You know what I mean? Like I literally thought, like here's what I thought whenever we're watching it is whenever the first like a possession like happened and then after Jack was like, oh, we got to make this like a recurring thing, I literally thought that the rest of the movie was going to be like clips of how his TV show turned into a possession TV show and like
Ooh.
was number one. I really thought that, and I was like, oh, he's going to change the name to Late Night with the Devil, but that didn't happen. And I was like,
Yeah.
ooh. But like real quick I was like, oh yeah, that would be so cool, but nope.
Also, the poster for this movie is absolutely
Oh,
gorgeous.
so cool. Let me see that. Yeah, he looks so cool. He's such a cool looking guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two posters. There's three posters actually that I can see. The one is with his head that's on fire. Is that the one that you
Yeah,
mean?
that's my
Oh,
favorite poster they've released with this.
then yeah, there's the other one that's like him standing there and there's like two devil eyes behind him, and then there's another one where his like his feet are on fire, and
Yeah.
there's another one where the half of his head's on fire. I don't know. All
I
these
also
posters
like the
look
one where
cool.
I also like the one where his feet are
Yeah.
on fire. I like the two that feel very retro.
Yeah, this one's retro.
And the
Yeah.
costuming was great. I will
Mhm.
say, like, no one had iPhone face in this movie, in my opinion. They
What's
did great.
iPhone face?
Where you look at an actor and know they're in a period piece and you know that they have seen an iPhone.
Oh, I see.
Like,
Yes.
yeah. No, I think styling, they did great.
Hmm.
I guess we're in production now.
Yeah.
Costumes were great, makeup were great. It felt truly authentically 70s in a lot of ways. And maybe even the weak story is truly
Yeah.
authentically 70s.
And like the set, and like I'm so glad that there were practical effects and they were gnarly.
Yep.
Yeah. CGI,
Um,
like not so much, I guess you were saying, and then the AI, not cool.
yeah.
Um,
Some of the CGI was not great, but I can forgive that because the practical
mhm.
effects were phenomenal.
Oh, I have a question for you. So,
Yes.
what did you think about how the TV show footage was in color and then the like behind the scenes footage was like black and white?
I I liked it. I thought it
Yeah.
made sense.
Yeah. Just
Because
differentiate. Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with like home videos of that era.
Hmm.
Like I know Super 8 was a thing. I think I would have appreciated it more if they did like a Super 8 for those
Yeah.
scenes.
Hmm.
Something that felt more like home video-esque.
Oh, yeah.
But I think doing it in black and white kind of tried to mimic that, like a handheld camera
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
just has
Like,
over
yeah. Yeah.
like the expensive studio cameras that were recording in color.
Oh, yeah. Very clever. Yeah. So
Also,
that's
I
cool.
feel like they never really acknowledged that they were being filmed behind the scenes
Yeah.
either, so maybe that would have helped
Yes.
my immersion into the story.
Uh-huh. Yes. Because it just seemed like it was a movie again and not a found footage
Yeah.
thing, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you.
Um, I also just need to talk about all of the fucking production companies. I had heard about it, but it really was that Family Guy joke where you don't
Yeah.
know when the movie actually starts because it's production intro after
Oh,
production intro.
yes. I was
It
like,
was
the fuck?
it was 2 whole minutes. It was 2 fucking minutes of that.
What?
And I'm trying to think of a drinking game for it,
Yeah.
but god damn, that was so many.
I know that was. So when it finally began, I was like, oh, okay, so it's like a
When it be
documentary.
when it
Excellent.
began, I still wasn't convinced.
I still was like, okay, I'm ready for more though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So this was
Um,
rated R.
it was. I don't know if it deserved that R rating.
I know. I actually just
I
noticed, I was
th-
like, hey, it's rated R. I don't think it was that R.
no, gore-wise, it was pretty tame.
Dude,
Like, I
so
mean, I guess
tame.
the worms were pretty gnarly,
I
but
know, but there was like 2 seconds of worms and it stopped.
yeah,
You know.
I think they could have gotten away with a PG-13 rating, and I think they probably would have done better with their theatrical run had they done a PG-13 rating because there really
Yeah.
wasn't even any language
I
because
know, I
they're on
feel like,
TV.
yeah, they said the F word like once because it was the demon.
Yeah, and they
Literally,
can
that's
say the F
it.
word once or twice
Yeah,
in a PG-13 movie.
right. So, yeah, that's interesting. I just was like, hey, I didn't even like notice a rating at all. It was just
Yeah, so
like,
that's weird that it is rated R.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a
Hmm.
waste of an R rating. I think they could have absolutely gotten away with PG-13. That
Yeah.
probably would have helped bring in more
Yes.
money in the box office. Because
Yeah.
there's no nudity. There's one
No.
F word.
Yeah.
They censor
They censored the other F word.
yeah, they censored one of the F words, so
Yeah. And
I
then
think they would have been
there's
fine with I can't think of a reason why this got an R rating other than
like
smoking.
the worms, and then like he stabbed his wife and there was like blood.
Yeah. No, this is the
But
tamest R rating I've seen. I didn't
dude,
even know it was rated.
bro, I know, right? I was just like, I was looking at like the runtime again. It's rated R. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Like, if you
that's
want this
weird.
to be the most extreme night in television, like,
Make it extreme.
do
Maybe that's where it falls
do
flat
it.
for me.
Yeah, it's not extreme enough for the R rating, and like it being like it's saying that like evil into nation's living room, like not
Yeah.
really. Well, like sort of, but like not really. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
Well, yeah. So that's that.
I guess realistic aspects,
Cool.
cancer.
Oh yeah. Geez, selling your soul to the devil
Yeah,
to
your
like
husband
be
selling his soul to the
famous.
devil and then you get cancer.
And then you get cancer because you're the sacrifice. And and then you like do this to become famous, and then you become famous, but not in the way that you wanted. So like
Yeah.
it's kind of confusing to you.
Yeah.
You're like, shit. Um,
Um,
the demonic stuff during like the like crazy demon devil craze or whatever it's called
yeah.
in the 70s, like that being like
Yeah.
real happening on your television
Um,
show.
Throwing up during your television appearance.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
That would be
Trying
so
to like,
embarrassing.
yeah, trying to like read people, but like you're wrong all the time. And and you're like, never mind. I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Um, Satanic Panic, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, Satanic Panic.
I was like,
I gotcha.
Satan crazy?
Satan crazy.
You got me. But uh, that's it. Nothing else
That's
like
all I
really
can
like
think of.
diverted from the
I guess
show.
your boyfriend not taking your job seriously.
Yo, yeah, and also being a guest on the show, but like dying
Oh, that
because
sucks.
you thought it would be like a fun Halloween thing, but like you got killed by Satan.
Yeah,
God. Yeah, that sucks. It really does.
it really does suck to be
That
killed by Satan.
yeah, excuse me, those are all the realistic aspects I can think of though.
Yeah, that's all I've got. Rating wise, I'm gonna give it a meh.
Meh. I
Yeah.
hate that. I love this guy, but like
I
meh.
know.
I hope that he wows
I
me in something else.
I
Jeez.
also hate it.
Come on, David. That's
Because
enough.
I was excited for this. So I guess we'll see if the next super hyped horror movie our community is talking about is also terrible. I'm sorry if you hear rubbing. I'm compulsively cleaning makeup off my desk. Forgive me.
It's okay.
Um yeah, no, I think it was just overhyped for me. And it just kind of fell flat. There's a lot of good that I like about it, but overall it was just meh. I don't think I'll be going back to it anytime soon.
I know. Yeah, me neither. Um, I was looking at other stuff that this guy's been in, and he's in the last voyage of the
Oh,
Demeter.
I wanted to see that one too. I never
I
got
know.
around to it.
Well, guess what? You have to wait longer because it's on the freaking premium subscription shit. Oh, and $15 to rent. Oh,
Uh,
I know.
no, that one
Anyway,
looked really cool to me because it's a fucking vampire movie on a
dude,
boat.
it's well, the Demeter is where Dracula is. Um, when he in the novel when he's being taken from like where he lives to his new home, that's like the boat that he rides on, so it's a
Hmm.
Dracula adjacent
Ooh.
thing,
Ooh.
and he is Wolchek, and I don't know who that is. I hope he's like a big role. I hope he
Yeah.
doesn't die first. Come on, man, just
Yeah.
do something crazy. Anyway, yeah, so I want to see him in more stuff. It looks like he's going to be in a new movie that's coming out like soon called Afraid,
Ooh.
and it looks like it's about AI because the A and the I in Afraid are red. So just what we need. Thanks. Cool. It's gonna be irrelevant in a year, but anyway,
Yeah.
you know, ugh. But hopefully, like, just like lets it all freaking hang out in that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, I'll
That's all I've
stop.
got.
That's all I've got. I'll stop fangirling and we can go ahead and do our outro so we can go to bed.
Yes.
So thanks for tuning into our episode. We are the Real Horror Show podcast. Our host is Sam Odie, and I'm the co-host, Stormy Skies. The podcast was created by Sam Odie, and Stormy Skies is directed, edited, and produced by Sam Odie. Excuse me. You can find Sam on Instagram at Sam is Writing Stuff. And you can find Stormy on Instagram at The Stormy Skies. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play Store, Pandora, and anywhere you like to stream your podcasts. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you're always in the know when a new episode comes out. Follow us on social media. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, and yes, Twitter too. We do more than just podcast. We love to write and have plenty of great movie reviews and essays, all of which can be found on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We love hearing from our listeners. You can ask us a question or send us a movie request to review by DMing us on social media, or you can even send us an email at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Call for guests. Do you love horror movies? Are you a podcaster, a content creator, a movie lover, or anyone in between who is a listener to our show? We would love to have you as a guest on one of our episodes. Reach out to us via social media DM or email us at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Our podcast episodes featuring guests are all listed on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We are so thankful for all of our listeners. You are the life force of our podcast, and we wouldn't really exist without you. Thank you all for making this podcast real and supporting us as we record every week. You can support us in different ways, such as liking and sharing our podcast episodes on social media. Giving us a review will help the podcast more than you know and will help other listeners find it too. You can also donate to Real Horror Show by visiting our support page on our website, where you can make a one-time donation via PayPal, buy us a coffee with the buy us a coffee button, or explore our very interesting Amazon wish list. And any other pertinent news?
Not right now. I do have a play. It'll be over with by the time they hear this. I have a very short 10-minute play that I wrote with Brooke Aaron Smith, premiering down in Silva, North Carolina, in a very cute festival they're doing centered around food in Appalachia.
Oh, cool.
Everything. It's being performed in a kitchen.
Oh, cool.
So there's real cooking on set, and it doesn't matter if that I'm telling everyone late, because all of the shows except for the newly added Saturday matinee are sold out, and they added that Saturday matinee because everything was sold out.
Dude, wow. Congrats, dude.
Thank you. I mean, I'm not the only playright in the festival, but it's still very exciting to be part of a sold out festival.
Yeah, that is very, very cool.
Awesome. So David and I will be going down to Asheville/Silva this weekend.
Oh, cool. This weekend.
We have a very cute Airbnb waiting for us.
Oh, nice.
We just need to find a cat sitter.
Yes.
And I look forward to a full weekend sleep without a little kitten stepping on my face.
Yes, little kitten. Well, excellent. Well, congrats, Sam. And then in the meantime, let's continue on with our watching of The Haunting of Hill House and watch episode 4, I think, or 5.
Yes, it's 4.
4. Wonderful. 4. Awesome. Our outro song is called Creepy Doll by Jonathan Colton, and he can be found at jonathancolton.com. Thank you, fuck off, and have a swell evening. This is Real Horror Show signing off.
Bye.
Bye-bye.